They're kind of a daddy long leg, it looks like. Never seen one with. Oh, he died. This is planned dead. Oh, he's just planted. Got short legs, like half as long as most daddy long legs. He's got that design on his back. Finishing interior part 17, I believe. This is the magic spot. What's going on back here? What is all this? This video is finishing the drywall. Which is why I do that. Just kind of, I'm not sure if I really showed it in there. Got a switch. So, it's kind of showing that. Before I do this. Perfect. Whoops. There we go. There's nothing back there. I don't know what you're talking about. This video is finishing drywall. So, you know, I'll be screwing that piece of drywall on. I'm not gonna mud the corners. I'm not gonna mud these inside corners. I may do a bead of caulk, and then if I need to get in there, I just cut that bead of caulk with a utility knife. But basically, it's just going to be screwed in, you know, so I can pop it out and pop it back in when need be to get access back there. This is just going right here. So this video is finishing the drywalls. So it's kind of basically doing this little pony wall. Framing this in, giving it some drywalls on this side. It's like 45 outside, so I got a fire going. 60. It's gonna be my sourdough. Get it next to the fire so it'll warm up, you know. Out in the shack, 45 degrees, it's too cold for it. It needs to be maybe like 60 degrees before it'll start actually doing something. Poor little baby's a little too cold. Give it a pet and put it next to the fire and it'll be fine. This will eventually be raised up so that the counter height is going to be like 2 3/4 higher than this. So it'll have a layer of 3/4 plywood for the, you know, think of it like 2 foot out is the counter, 2 foot out, and then over, you know. And then kind of over here, you know, it's kind of basically just a 2 foot this way. And the counter will be some 3/4 plywood on this with like 2 inches of concrete on that 3/4 plywood. So kind of basically, this will be the finished counter height almost. This is 1.5 inches, which is pretty close. So, and it's got like a little 1/2 inch gap. So this would probably be like, you know, the finished grade of the counter. This right here, backsplash. You know, outlet cover plates. So that'll be raised up to about this height right here, the finished grade. So it's kind of, the thought is, you know, a seamless transition. Well, a seam, you know, but a small seam from the concrete counter to the metal of the cook stove. That's hot, so I don't want to touch it. And so it's kind of like a thing, you know, and then just a back on the concrete, you know. This is pushed out from there. Well, I mud it, you know, that'll be in a future video. You know, maybe like, I don't know. 4 more videos or something for this series, you know, mud first coat, mud second coat, mud. This is gonna be smooth wall. It's not gonna be textured. If it was textured, get away with 2 coats and then texture. But this is gonna be smooth wall, so it's easier to patch it when it's smooth wall. It's actually one of my strengths is patching texture, matching it, but I'm gonna go with smooth wall. So if I do want to put a hole right here, make an inset, and then make this into a terrarium where little plants grow, you know. Open up on this side, open up on that side, like a big glass terrarium, and then I grow my basil and my oregano and my parsley and my cilantro up in these little terrarium. No, I'm just kidding about that. But if I want to do something, you know, access patch, you know, access it, you know, or I get some issue, I need to cut into it, I can always patch it real easy, you know, I don't need texture, you know. And it's just kind of, you know, it's just, it'll be better, you know, but still 3 coats of mud and then priming. This video though is doing the pony wall, doing the drywall on this. So this will be like an 18-inch cabinet, a 22-inch propane stove, an 18-inch cabinet, something along those lines. 22-inch propane stove because it's an RV propane stove. Well, it's not yet, but what I plan on getting, why I did this like this, is for a 22-inch RV stove, propane RV stove, something small, you know, that doesn't use much propane. You know, I don't want to waste a bunch of propane. You know, I could put the canisters in one of these bottom cabinets, you know, and then, you know, backsplash, you know, open area. This is a, you know, if I want to, I don't know what I would use, you know, but some kind of kitchen utensil, you know, like, you know, cooking over here, and then maybe I'd blend it on the stove or something, I don't know. But that, and then this. And this goes up to that. And that's going to be inside an upper cabinet. And that, you know, that's water. It's red because it's hot water. And that's going to go into the drywall. Somewhere's over there. It just hasn't done it yet. But eventually it'll go into that, you know. I'm going to cut a hole through the drywall. Oh, that's why I smooth wall, so I can patch the hole real good. No, but all that will be inside of an upper cabinet. With a water heater, you know, so that's kind of what those are. I got that for drywall scrap. I got this door closed just to warm it up on this side better. I got this for drywall scrap. These are little bitty scraps that I'm going to be throwing out at Lowe's in the gas station. You know, do a trip to Lowe's, pick something up, drop something off. You know, I do a trip to the gas station, pick something up, drop something off. Do a trip to Walmart, pick something up, drop something off. That's how you build a house with only four grocery bags full of garbage at the end of it, you know. Build it slowly and throw out the garbage slowly, you know. There's no, I don't even know where the dump is, you know, who knows. But I also got these scraps too. I got this left over. These front two are damaged. You know, they damaged when they're doing their loading, so they brought extra, and then I ordered extra, you know. So I think they brought 4 extra, and I ordered. You never know what you're gonna be able to scrap out. You know how much you can do a scrap, and how much you need a full sheet for. So it's always good to have extra, unless you can just throw a couple in your van, throw a couple sheets in your van, and bring them over. You know, and then it's good to order under what you need, but I can't fit a full sheet in mine, so order extra. So I got all this extra, and it's kind of like I don't really have a need for it, but it's enough here to actually do something with, you know. So saving this bit, you know, and I got a couple almost half sheets, you know. This is a big enough scrap, and a big enough scrap to where I might be able to do something with it. So this is what I got left over. So the tiny scraps and the big pieces. I had a bunch of medium-sized pieces, and I put them in this wall. So there's a bunch of scrap in this wall. And kind of the thought is it's thermal mass. So as this stove heats up, you know, it's really, this is not even really that warm. It feels actually a little bit cooler than the air around it still, you know, but it's probably warmer than 50 degrees. It's probably like 55 degrees. And all these little pieces of drywall in this wall will turn to like that 55 degrees, maybe 60 degrees. And then once the stove is already cooled down, this will still be a little bit warm, kind of radiating it. So this is kind of like slows down the heating up of the room and slows down the cooling off of the room. You know, this is kind of like a stabilizer, thermal mass. It's just a good place to stash it. You know, I got a stud bay, a stud bay, stud bay, stud bay, stud bay. You know, I just kind of filled with scraps. These pieces I might break up and throw out in little garbage bags like that as I get more garbage bags. Those are all the garbage bags that I had, you know, but as I do more trips to Lowe's or wherever, you know, I'll pick up some more, you know. But then I may also use this for compost, you know. Gypsum's good for, you know, what normally happens with the drywall, if it's not just thrown out in general, if it's recycled, it just ends up in the soil. You know, it's just, you know, it's like a soil amendment. Not really good, not really bad, it's just mass, you know? So I may throw it in some raised planters in the future, you know, like when I get around to doing, finishing like the landscaping and the terracing and all that. I'm doing my raised beds, putting the garden areas around here, around the house. Be doing raised beds, and maybe throw some of this in there. You never know. It's a small pile. That's what I got left for the cement board. Really not much. That's it for the cement board. Keeping this separate, because this has like probably mold resistant chemicals in it and stuff, you know, not really something you'd want to put in your soil. It wouldn't really break down and all that, you know. Worm might get sick if it eats this. And this is good for, you know, mixing up some concrete. Just throw this in there. Nice little concrete filler. Mix it, you know, it's like rock. Mold resistant rock. Yeah, that's this video though. Doing the last bit of framing that pony wall, sheathing the last of the drywall, and kind of getting rid of those scraps, you know. And now it's ready for doing my electricals. go around the room. In the next video will be electricals and in here, and then I can hook up my outlet circuit, you know, charge up the outlet circuit. Got my handy dandy tester. And then mudding. Starting off with 2 tubs and a bunch of corners, outside corners. 2 rolls. There's 2 of these rolls, you know, there's a roll right here, there's a roll in there, and 2 of these rolls. This is perforated for my seams, like that seam, and then paper. There's another roll of paper in here, so 2 rolls of paper, and paper for my inside corners, and those plastic corner beads for my outside corners. Those will be future vids. This one, just that. Next reveal.
Understand that the grace of God is sufficient for you to excel in your service to Him explained here before, and I'm going to pronounce this one right, that the Greek word for that phrase is dokimos. And that actually is a mercantile phrase, a term of monetary exchange that literally communicated to James's immediate audience because they're familiar with the notion of going to market, passing off your means of exchange, your currency, perhaps silver or whatever. But when there was someone who would come to trade who was unknown to the merchant, or in the random making sure the currency was legitimate, the merchant would say, okay, I'll use Rob for example. Rob, I take your silver coinage, but before I can give you the goods, I have to put your coinage on this heated vessel. Well, what happened is the heated vessel would melt the coinage down to determine whether or not it's actually legitimate silver. Once Rob's currency was verified as being legitimate, Rob would then be known as a dokimion. That is what James is communicating when he discussed a steadfastness and a hardiness under trial. Very simply, what James is saying is that it's one thing to talk your faith. It's one thing to represent yourself as having monetary currency. But the question is, will your currency hold up under trial? See, one of the things that this Wuhan virus is presenting for the Christ follower is whether or not we actually believe what we say we believe. See, I am not one of you, but listen to me talk about this thing, and I still believe the media is alarmist in their coverage of this coronavirus situation. But I have, from the very beginning of discussing this, always heard, take caution, be proactive. And I'll say it again, if you just now washing your hands, shame on you. You should have been washing your hands. But if you're now washing your hands, welcome to the hand washing brigade. Alright? But don't allow, if God hasn't given you a spirit of fear, don't let the media give you one. Allow your engagement to be from the disposition of caution and sober-mindedness, but don't allow fear to be the driving force. Don't allow fear to be the driving force. Remember what the Apostle Paul wrote while he was under Roman incarceration, awaiting his imminent execution. Be anxious for nothing, but in everything. Everything includes difficult family circumstances. Everything includes difficult financial circumstances. Everything includes a media alarmism concerning a Chinese coronavirus outbreak. In everything, by prayer and supplication, request we made known professor of religion and philosophy was told by a federal court that he must use the preferred pronouns of students if he wishes to keep his job. The professor at Shawnee State University in Ohio filed suit after he received a written warning in his personnel file for not calling a biological male student a female pronoun. The professor said that God created human beings as either male or female, and that gender is fixed. The professor often uses titles such as Mr. or Miss, and phrases like yes sir and yes ma'am out of respect. But school officials said that using preferred pronouns was part of his job and was required by the university. The professor is now considering his next steps. This is insanity. Make sure you know your rights and act on them. Stay informed at Liberty Council's website, lc.org. In the Bible, Jesus said, I am the living bread that came down from heaven. If anyone eats of this bread, he will live forever. Jesus said, I am the light of the world. Whoever follows me will not walk in darkness, but will have the light of life. Jesus said, come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. Has filling up on the things of this world left you empty inside? Feast on the living bread. Are you bruised and battered from stumbling around in the darkness? I've got good news. Jesus is the light of the world. Have the struggles of this life left you tired and burdened? The Son of God says, come to me, and I will give you rest. So that's the invitation from Jesus to you today. It's our prayer here at the American Family Association that you will come to Jesus today. Brian Fisher here with today's Life and Liberty Minute. The world is making a mad, desperate, dangerous, and deadly rush toward making transgenderism the preferred option for sexually confused teenagers. In the process, teens are given puberty blockers that they're told are reversible. Unfortunately, that is blatantly false. Endocrinologist Dr. William Malone says puberty blockers interfere with normal bone density development as well as brain development and increase rather than cure gender dysphoria. One drug called Luprod actually causes the chemical castration of the teens who take it and is linked to a number of deaths. But 85% of teens naturally outgrow gender dysphoria by the time they're adults. God is clear that he made us male and female, and he's not confused at all about which is which. And we shouldn't be confused either. Catch Brian Fisher on Focal Point, weekday afternoons at 105 Central on American Family Radio. Shining light into the darkness. This is the House Report on American Family Radio. Welcome back to the Hamilton Corner here on American Family Radio. Abraham Hamilton III here. President Trump spoke last night about the war on coronavirus and some steps that he is taking through his executive office. So for those who may not have been able to catch it, obviously I can't play the whole speech. Well, obviously I can't play the whole speech because of time. But I will play a couple of the highlights that I think are worth considering. And, it's a bit, how should I say this? It's just disgusting how everything gets reduced to partisan politics. You had people complaining about the president. Oh, he's not doing it all. He's not taking the virus seriously. And among the president's verbiage, because most people didn't even know it, but when the government first got wind of the Wuhan coronavirus, President Trump immediately acted to suspend travel to the United States from China. But you didn't know about it because the media was so busy in covering, impeachment, blah, 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 like the initial action. And so I'm like, so wait, y'all got to pick. You say the president didn't do anything, but you talk about what he has done. And it's just ridiculous. And so one of the things that I want you to hear for yourselves, well, let me play what the president said, this portion. And you immediately had regressive outrage. They are a perpetual outrage machine because that is what they do. Clip number one. After consulting with our top government health professionals, I have decided to take several strong but necessary actions to protect the health and well-being of all Americans, to keep new cases
viruses from entering our shores, we will be suspending all travel from Europe to the United States for the next 30 days. The new rules will go into effect Friday at midnight. These restrictions will be adjusted subject to conditions on the ground. There will be exemptions for Americans who have undergone appropriate screenings, and these prohibitions will not only apply to the tremendous amount of trade and cargo, but various other things as we get approval. Anything coming from Europe to the United States is what we are discussing. These restrictions will also not apply to the United Kingdom.
Now, you heard what the president said. Because you know what, in Italy, they have literally locked down and quarantined 16 million people. Part of the reason is that Italy has the highest median aged populace in Europe. I don't know if people knew that. Yeah, they have some of the oldest Europeans alive on the continent in Europe. So they have a much more vulnerable population based on the information we have now. Travels. Israel has been halted. Other places, our president Tim had a trip to Israel scheduled that they had canceled because of things changing there. It's just at a certain point you have to get to the place where you realize what's happening, and then you realize these people don't believe it. It's just okay. Like I'll give you an example. Do you remember how this is not related to coronavirus, but I just want to give you an example of just the glaring hypocrisy that lets you know they don't really believe what they say. You remember how early on in the campaign, after really the first couple of days
Acting with compassion and love, we will heal the sick, care for those in need, help our fellow citizens, and emerge from this challenge stronger and more unified than ever before. God bless you, and God bless America. Thank you.
That's how the president concluded his remarks. I mean, you would think you can't come. No, can we come together now? Maybe. I want to play one more clip from the president's speech last night that dovetails with what I was saying yesterday on the program.
I will never hesitate to take any necessary steps to protect the lives, health, and safety of the American people. I will always put the well-being of America first. If we are vigilant and we can reduce the chance of infection, which we will significantly impede the transmission of the virus.
I tweeted this out with a little, like a winking eye yesterday, because as soon as we got off the air 2008, 2010, 2012, 2014, 2016, 2018, 2000. Again, go and look it up. Go and look it up. There's something going on. I can't quite put my finger on it. And I'm not going to speculate as to what it is. But I feel like there's more going on than what we think. That is my gut feeling. That is my gut feeling. As I get more information, I'm going to share it with you. But I think it would be irresponsible to just speculate with, unfounded ideas. But there's something going on that I just, the alarm, I have a hard time with it. I have a hard time with it. And especially when you compare, and I know what's going on globally, around the world, I should say, not globally. But when you consider what's happening in our country, and you don't hear anywhere near this amount of concern about things like the flu, that today has had far more difficulty than coronavirus. I know this is new territory, but I feel like something's going on that they're not telling us. American Family Radio news are now available as a podcast. I'm Rusty. I'm Steve Torrell. That's the full story. I'm the first one at the top of the hour. Listen to the podcast. I'm Charlie Bunn. And I'm Fred Jackson. Get accurate news from a Christian perspective whenever you want it with the American Family News podcast. You can also sign up for our daily news brief. Visit onenewsnow.com.
This is Jan Markell. I'm next on Understanding the Times Radio. I talked to Pastor J.D. Farag about the tide of our times. Are we facing a global pandemic? Are these part of the perilous times predicted in the Bible? And how can we be people of faith and not fear in these final days? That's next on Understanding the Times Radio.
Saturday afternoon at 1 Central and Sunday afternoon at noon Central on American Family Radio.
8 Days of Hope continues to be the hands and feet of Jesus. The ministry is in need of volunteers as they turn their attention to Nashville. Visit 8daysofhope.com to learn how you can help. Here's 8 Days of Hope President Steve Timer.
Looking for people who just want to serve others. You don't have to be super gifted. Every disaster is an opportunity for a believer to share a glimpse of Jesus Christ. On a moment's notice, your life can change. And you don't know what to do. And all of a sudden, you get a knock on your door. And there's a dozen volunteers that have come from all over the country. And homeowners usually, they just start to weep. They're so blown away that volunteers they don't even know would come to their house to help them. That's the hand of Jesus Christ.
Volunteers must be 18 years old. Food and lodging are provided. Be a part of helping tornado victims in Nashville. Learn more or sign up at 8daysofhope.com.
Hello, Americans. I'm Todd Starnes with news and commentary next.
My name is Dr. Andrew Favich, and I teach microbiology here at Trinity University. And so instead of trying to teach biology from this perspective that gives you this who-to-you version of evolution, I get this perspective of this is who God is has revealed himself to me, and he's revealed himself in nature, which is terribly exciting to study.
Hi, Todd Starnes here. Truett offers biblically centered degree programs. Check out truett.edu/Starnes. CBS News this morning says any use of the word black could be considered racist. That announcement came during an interview with the authors of a new children's book, Stamped from the Beginning, The Definitive History of Racist Ideas in America. You heard that right, folks. It's a children's book. The author says they want to re-educate how racist we are. They listed all sorts of words that we should avoid, like black sheep, blackout, and black Monday. You know, these woke social justice
If you are concerned and you call in, my hope is that you get some encouragement to not be wrapped in fear. And I'm understanding, and I know that there are some people who are afflicted to become fearful. That's why the Lord has encouraged us not to be fearful, because He knows that it's possible for believers to be fearful. So I want to know, how are you feeling? Are you afraid? Are you posted it on Instagram. Got married from partners in politics to life partners. So what? So when these people try to lecture you on morality, I have a chair for them. Which I say, to the phone lines we go. We will start in Texas where Barbie is on the line. Barbie, thank you for calling the Hamilton Corner. Welcome.
Thank you, Abraham. I really appreciate the program, telling everyone what is happening and keeping us informed. I'm out here in the oil patch, so we have seen a big drop in the price of oil per gallon, per barrel. And, we're seeing some layoffs somewhere, but it's just important that Christian people be praying
Yes.
so that we can discern, because I'm often reminded of the book of Jonah where the prophet was upset with the Lord for not destroying the people, but the Lord reminded him that those people couldn't discern between their right hand and their left hand.
That is a good word, Barbie. Thank you for that call and your comment. Barbie's referring to the book of Jonah where the Lord sent Jonah to go and prophesy to Nineveh. Well, Nineveh is the capital city of Assyria. So when the northern kingdom of Israel was exiled in 722 BC, they were exiled at the hands of the Assyrians. And Jonah had harbored animosity toward the Ninevites because, look, let's just be candid about this. The Syrians were brutal when they destroyed the northern kingdom of Israel. And Jonah was like, no, I don't want to preach the gospel to these people. I don't want to preach to them, Lord, because I know you're compassionate. I know they're going to turn and you're going to let them. And I don't want you to let them turn. And just as Barbie said, the Lord told Jonah, who are you to say who gets to turn to me and who doesn't? So your words of encouragement, Barbie, are spot on. That we do need to be prayerful. And the things that are going on with the oil industry, the Wuhan virus is just the latest thing that may have an impact. Another thing that's having an impact is the skirmish that's going on between Russia and OPEC in Saudi Arabia. They're having a standoff on the price of oil. And Russia, there's a whole lot of economics, but Russia needs the oil to stay above $50 a barrel. OPEC was trying to strike a deal with Russia because the American oil industry is on the rise. And Russia told them no. So, absolutely right. Thank you for your call and your comments. Barbie, thank you for your call and your comments, Barbie. We will now go to Georgia, where Charles is on the line. Charles, thank you for calling the Hamilton Corner. Welcome to the program.
Hey, Abe.
Yes, I'm here. How are you, Charles?
Okay, how are you doing?
Doing very well. How are you?
I'm fine. The only thing I want to know, that I was listening to the other day when you were talking to Tim and Ed, and you said that you didn't like to be called a person of color. And I understand that 100%, but I'm just trying to figure out what else a group of people, and I hate to say a race because I think we're all the same race, but what can we do as Caucasians or whatever to make people understand that it doesn't really matter? We're just here. We're all here together. God loves us, and we're all going to go to the same heaven. What can we do to do that, Abraham?
All right, Charles, you're kind of off topic for this show. He's talking about an appearance I made on today's issue. I don't like the expression people of color because I know exactly it's another cultural Marxist attempt to create a group of people that doesn't really exist. Melanin content gives you no indication of a person's character, their worldview, nor what they believe. Yet they're trying to pigeonhole entire philosophy into thinking